A rifle does not always lose accuracy because the barrel is worn out, the scope is bad, or the ammo is weak. Sometimes the problem starts on the cleaning bench. A small scratch, a damaged crown, hard copper buildup, or a dirty chamber can slowly open your groups until the rifle feels broken. The scary part is that many shooters think they are helping the rifle while they are hurting it. More cleaning does not always mean better shooting. Correct cleaning is what protects accuracy. Here are 5 rifle cleaning mistakes that can quietly destroy your accuracy before you even know what changed. Mistake 5. Over-cleaning the barrel. The first mistake sounds strange, because cleaning is supposed to protect a rifle, but too much cleaning, done the wrong way, can become its own kind of wear. A rifle barrel is not just a metal tube. Inside it are spiral grooves called rifling. Those grooves spin the bullet and help it fly straight. If the inside of the barrel is scraped, rubbed, or attacked too often with harsh habits, accuracy can start to fade. This does not mean a dirty rifle is better. It means cleaning should match the rifle's use. A hunting rifle that only fires a few rounds in a season does not need the same deep cleaning schedule as a rifle that sees heavy range use. Many shooters clean because they feel guilty, not because the rifle is asking for it. They shoot a few rounds, then scrub the bore like something is wrong. Barrels also do not always shoot their best when they are perfectly stripped clean. Some rifles settle in after a small amount of fouling. A rifle may shift slightly after a deep clean, then return to its normal pattern after a few shots. The better lesson is simple. Clean with purpose, not panic. If groups are still tight, the rifle is stored safely, and there is no heavy fouling problem, there may be no reason to attack the bore again and again. A smart shooter watches accuracy, tracks round count, and follows the maker's guidance. A careless shooter treats every range trip like an emergency and slowly wears the most important part of the rifle. Over-cleaning is dangerous because it feels responsible. The shooter walks away thinking the rifle is protected, while the bore may have taken more abuse from bad cleaning than from the last box of ammo. Mistake 4. Using cheap rods that scrape the bore. The cleaning rod looks harmless, but it can be one of the easiest ways to hurt a rifle. A bad rod can bend, flex, or rub the inside of the bore. Sectional rods can be worse because the joints may have edges that catch or drag. If that rod grinds against the rifling again and again, it can create wear where the bullet needs a smooth, even path. The bullet does not float down the barrel. It is guided by the bore. The rifling grabs the bullet, spins it, and sends it forward. If the bore is damaged unevenly, the bullet can leave the barrel with less balance. At close distance, the change may look small. At longer distance, it can become obvious. Groups that were tight begin to spread. A shooter may blame the scope, the wind, or the ammo, but the damage started with the wrong tool. Cheap rods also tempt people to push harder. If a patch gets stuck or a brush feels tight, they force it. That pressure can make the rod bow inside the barrel. Once the rod bows, it may rub harder against one side of the bore. Doing that once may not ruin a rifle. Doing it again and again is the problem. Accuracy loss is often a slow story, not one dramatic moment. This is why many careful shooters prefer a straight, one-piece rod made for the job, with the right fit for the bore. A bore guide also helps keep the rod centered and protects the throat area near the chamber. The idea is not to turn cleaning into a special ritual. The idea is to stop the cleaning tool from becoming a file inside the barrel. Normal use wears a barrel in a natural way. Bad cleaning wears it in a careless way. Mistake 3. Damaging the crown at the muzzle. The crown is one of the smallest parts of the rifle, but it has a huge effect on accuracy. It is the finished edge at the muzzle, right where the bullet leaves the barrel. That last moment matters because the bullet is leaving behind hot gas, pressure, and the rifling that guided it. If the crown is even, gas escapes evenly around the bullet. If the crown is nicked or worn unevenly, gas can push more on one side than the other. That tiny push can disturb the bullet as it leaves. The shooter may never see the damage with a quick glance, but the target can show it. The rifle may still fire, it may still feel normal, but groups begin to open because the bullet is no longer leaving the muzzle the same way each time. This mistake often happens when people clean from the muzzle without protecting the crown. The rod, brush, jag, or dirty patch can rub that edge. Over time, the crown can take small hits. A rifle can survive rough weather, recoil, and years of use, yet lose accuracy because the muzzle edge was treated like it did not matter. This is why many rifle makers and serious shooters prefer cleaning from the chamber end when the rifle design allows it. That keeps the rod away from the muzzle crown. The goal is not speed. The goal is to protect the bullet's final exit point. If the barrel is the road, the crown is the last gate. The bullet can travel perfectly down the road and still be disturbed at the gate. That is why crown damage is so frustrating. It can make a good rifle act bad, and the cause may be almost invisible. Mistake 2. leaving copper and carbon fouling too long. Some shooters go too far with cleaning. Others go too far the other way. They leave fouling in the barrel for so long that accuracy starts to fall apart. Every shot leaves something behind. Burned powder can leave carbon, copper-jacketed bullets can leave copper traces in the bore. At first, a little fouling may not hurt anything. In some rifles, a light amount can even make the barrel settle into its normal pattern. But heavy buildup is different. Copper fouling can collect in tiny marks, pores, and rough spots inside the steel. Carbon can build in layers and hard spots. As the bore changes, the bullet does not travel through the same surface it did before. Pressure and friction can become less consistent. That is when groups start to grow. The rifle did not suddenly become inaccurate. The bore slowly changed under the shooter's nose. This mistake is hard to catch because the rifle may not look dirty from the outside. A clean stock and shiny bolt do not prove the bore is right. Accuracy trouble often starts where the eye cannot easily see. A shooter may keep adjusting the optic or changing ammo when the real issue is inside the barrel. There is also a second danger. Some people use the wrong solvent for the wrong fouling, then think the barrel is clean. Carbon and copper are not the same problem. A product that helps with one may not fully remove the other. Harsh copper solvents also need care because strong chemicals left too long can create their own damage risk. That is why the maker's instructions matter. The smart approach is balance. Do not scrub the bore to death after every small trip, but do not let heavy fouling become the new shape of the barrel. Watch the rifle. If accuracy starts to fade after a known round count, fouling may be the reason. The target often tells the truth before the shooter wants to hear it. Mistake 1. Ignoring the chamber and throat. Most shooters think accuracy is only about the bore and crown. Those parts matter, but the chamber and throat matter too. The chamber holds the cartridge before firing. The throat is the area just ahead of it where the bullet begins its move into the rifling. If this area is dirty, rough, or damaged by bad cleaning, the bullet may not start its trip the same way each time. That first movement is important. Accuracy depends on repeatability. The cartridge needs to sit in a steady position. The bullet needs to enter the rifling in a consistent way. If the chamber has dirt, carbon, oil, old solvent, or small debris, the rifle may still fire, but the start of the shot can become less consistent. Small changes at the start can become larger changes on the target. A neglected chamber can also create other problems. It can make extraction sticky. It can hide fouling that keeps coming back into the action. It can make a shooter clean the bore again and again while missing the actual source of trouble. That is why chamber care should not be ignored. The throat area is also easy to abuse with careless rod work. If a rod enters at a bad angle, it can rub where the bullet first meets the rifling. That area already faces heat and pressure from firing. It does not need extra wear from rough cleaning. A bore guide helps reduce that risk by keeping the rod aligned. Again, this is not about fancy gear for show. It is about keeping the tool from damaging the rifle. Before any cleaning, safety comes first. The rifle should be unloaded, the chamber checked, and the manual followed. Good maintenance is never rushed, and it is never done while guessing. A rifle is a serious tool, and careless habits around it create risk. By the time accuracy is gone, many shooters look everywhere except their own routine. They blame the rifle, the scope, the ammo, the weather, or the bench. Sometimes those things are the problem, but often the rifle is telling a quieter story. The bore was scrubbed too hard, the rod was cheap, the crown was rubbed, copper was ignored, the chamber was forgotten. That is the main lesson. Accuracy is not protected by cleaning more, it is protected by cleaning correctly. A rifle that is maintained with patience can stay consistent for years. A rifle cleaned with force, shortcuts, and bad tools can lose trust fast. Careless cleaning can ruin a rifle faster than normal use because it attacks the exact places accuracy depends on. The barrel guides the bullet. The crown controls the final exit. The chamber and throat start the shot. Fouling changes the bore. Bad tools damage what the bullet needs most. So the next time a rifle starts opening its groups, do not only ask what changed at the target, ask what changed on the cleaning bench. Because sometimes the rifle was not destroyed by shooting, it was destroyed by the person trying to save it.